This is the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I need you guys' help. Okay, this is what's going on. I have two channels. I've got the Men of High Value channel and I've got the Girls of High Value channel. In many aspects, what has happened right now is that the Girls of High Value channel has become a dating channel almost, where I basically explain about masculinity and femininity in girls and in men. And now the girls are asking me questions about how can I prepare myself for the right guy, and is it right of me to want children or not desire children? And they're asking me a lot of things concerning, in some ways, dating and courting and committing to the long-term partner of their choice in the future. And the fact of the matter is that I don't have those guys ready yet, okay? But it's a process, and I am working on it to prepare those guys. And this is how it's going to look like, okay? Right now, they're practicing discipline, and they're practicing focus. They're practicing, discipline in sexual matters in terms of keeping themselves not active with other sexual, having lots of sexual partners. This little video that I made just now for them is basically keeping, if men were virgins, then women would automatically be virgins, okay? And so what I need your help for is we need more women on the Girls of High Value channel. This needs to be spread. The main message that I share on the Girls of High Value channel is basically about allowing yourself to embrace your femininity. There's no such thing as balancing masculinity and femininity. Forget about that. Your goal, and your only goal really in life, should be to embrace your femininity. What does that mean? The definition of masculinity and femininity in women especially, but it's the same thing for men. Masculinity is being burdened, taking upon oneself responsibility and having to think. Okay? Very, very simply explained. Femininity, however, is unloading burden or being unburdened, not taking upon oneself responsibility, blaming, allowing, letting go, and submitting. That is femininity. This can only truly be practiced if there is a man who is taking full financial responsibility for you and whatever children that you create. You cannot create fullness of femininity, aka a fullness of joy, without having a man who is there taking away your financial burden, creating a massive business so you don't ever have to think about money, so that you can embrace your femininity. Women have never, until this time period, have never been allowed to completely explore and understand their femininity. It is through your femininity that your greatest potential lies as a woman. The more you embrace your femininity, the more you delve deep into your femininity and who you truly are as a woman, the more joy you're going to have. I am certain of that. I know that for a fact. And most women these days are growing up as masculine women because they're being blamed by men, they're being blamed by religion, they're being blamed at school, in society at large. And what does it mean to be blamed? It basically means that they're saying, you need to take responsibility, you need to control your emotions, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to be disciplined and focused, etc., etc. That's what everyone is telling women to do. My message is the opposite. My message is you need to learn to trust. And it's not your fault that you don't trust men. It is men's fault for not being trustworthy. However, we're creating those men. We're helping those guys because they're out there. Guess what? It's the nice guys that you haven't been attracted to, okay? Ever since you started being attracted to guys. You've been attracted to maybe bad guys, or you've been attracted to guys who basically weren't producing the long-term joy in the end that you hoped for. The nice guys have that, okay? And what do I mean by nice guy? I basically mean guys who have a desire to provide and protect for a woman, who actually takes what is important to her seriously and makes it important to them, who has the long game in mind for the woman's emotions and for her long-term joy and happiness. Those are the nice guys who will finish last, okay? Basically, who will actually win the best women of this world. And we're creating those men of high value. And we have to have more women understand these principles and embrace their femininity and trust that there will be men who will take care of them, who will help them to have, to not have to be burdened by the financial outlook on life. You shouldn't have to worry about getting an education. You shouldn't have to worry about getting a job, especially not a job that you don't like or that you don't want. Okay, if you want a job or if you want to build your own business, fantastic, go for it. However, wouldn't it be wonderful if you met a guy who actually was way ahead of you when it came to business and he could help you to build your business? Wouldn't it be better for you who don't want to build a business and get a job to have a guy that's way ahead of you when it comes to financial things, and therefore he's able to take that knowledge and use it and apply it and say to you that, you know what, you don't have to worry about the finances if you don't want to. I will provide for you. I don't expect anything. Grant Cardone is a fantastic family man, very wealthy, very amazing guy. And what he says basically is what men should do when it comes to the finances. They should take the full responsibility for everything when it comes to the finances. If the woman desires to work or to create a business of her own, that is her luxury money. That will not a single cent will be used to pay rent. Not a single cent will be used to pay for food or utilities or health insurance or whatever it is that families have to pay for. What the woman creates is hers and hers alone, and that is her luxury money. She can do whatever she freaking wants to do with it. That's the kind of guy I like. That's the kind of principle I live by. My wife has not worked a single day of her life since she got our first child. And I'm so passionate about it. I'm so grateful that she hasn't. And I'm so grateful that she has allowed me to do the best that I can to create the future, the financial future for us and our family. I mean, did I sometimes suck? Yes. Okay. Did I sometimes fail at business? Of course. However, I started out too early. I was 23 years old and she was 22 years old, and we got married way too quickly. But we figured out our weaknesses. We figured out what went wrong. We figured out basically how the female psyche works. And now we can actually help others to prepare themselves a little bit better than we did. And that's what we have the Men of High Value channel for and the Girls of High Value channel for, to help men understand the woman, to help men understand leadership, how to lead others, how to lead a team and build a business instead of just being slaves, working for a big company or a small company or whatever, having a job that stands for just over broke, which is like ridiculous to have in this day and age, living in 2019, and all the opportunities that are out there. It's not acceptable for a guy to not have a side hustle, for him to not have a business, and he should have his financial house in order before you join him on his journey. Does that make sense? That's what we want to create. That's what we're trying to do. And I had a fantastic question from one of my loyal watchers or subscribers, Ilsa, today, or last couple of days. And she said, well, how do I then find this guy if I shouldn't be dating and I should be focusing on me and growing myself and my people skills and my femininity and embracing that and working on my health, fitness, and my talents and whatever I have? How do I then find him? What I say is basically, what's the optimal is doing a hybrid of what has been done in the past and what is being done right now. What has been done in the past is that there was what we called organized marriages or organized relationships like that. The parents, the uncles, the aunts, everyone would join together in trying to find the right guy for the daughter. And then, very often, they forced the daughter to marry this guy, and she basically had no choice. Bad, okay? That's horrible. However, the good part was the organizing part, okay? And using a network, a lot of people working to find the right guy for this woman. The hybrid part is her in the future now being allowed to choose whichever of these guys that she desires. And they shouldn't just be one guy that they suggest. They should suggest a plethora of guys, many guys, and then she gets to choose from a selection of those whoever she desires. This is the best way to keep women's emotions protected from not having too many sexual partners, the mental instability that comes from too many sexual partners, and to allow her to start a wonderful family with the guy who has everything in order. Now, is this system in place now in the world today? Do parents and uncles and aunts understand the woman? Unfortunately, 99.999% of the time they don't. Which is why these two channels are even more important. This channel should be shared with fathers, mothers, uncles, aunts, daughters, sons. Everyone needs to hear about this channel. You need to share this so that we can together create amazing families of the future and create amazing children of the future. The next generation that create more families and that create more children that understand the woman, that understand men, which is easy. It's the woman that's difficult. I was talking to my friend today about understanding the woman is basically where it's at. That's really where the difficulty is. And women very often throughout history have basically said, how on earth can men understand the woman if I can't understand myself? That's kind of what women are thinking about. However, relationships are a science, and understanding the woman is also a science. It's a system that works. If you understand how the system works, you can basically navigate relationships beautifully, okay? We know how that works. We're teaching the guys how to navigate that and do it in an amazing manner so that they can lead in an amazing fashion that women voluntarily follow them naturally because of their femininity and because he's actually being a fantastic leader. If he's forcing, he's not. But I'm not teaching these guys to force. I'm teaching them to lead voluntarily and bring you along for the ride for the amazing empire that he's creating. We're going to create tons of these families. I'm fired up about it. This is the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you again tomorrow.